Welcome, what's up, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Michael Flecha, and welcome to a very special edition of the Mikey's Mindset, part of the wrestling forum. Tonight, this is the recap of TNA Slammiversary, which just went down just minutes ago from Universal Studios in Orlando, Florida, exclusively on pay-per-view. First off, the show started out with the moment of silence. Today was a very well overnight last night and during the course of today, very, very, very horrible news coming out of Orlando. A horrific scene that I can say, and it is definitely one that we kind of really need to think about and remember. And that's, to the families and the friends, the loved ones of this horrific tragedy, a nightclub shooting that went down around 2 a.m. on Saturday morning. 50 people dead, 53 others injured, and there's nothing to gloss over on this one. I mean, the ramifications and the tragedy itself just it fails in comparison to anything I've ever witnessed in my lifetime. And for me, on the behalf of all my colleagues, Anthony Floyo, Derek Ferrera, Michael Bullock, Dee Dee Woodson, Daniel Luttrell, and Lexi Galloway, I would like to give my heartfelt and prayers and good wishes to all the people that was affected in that nightclub shooting um, yesterday. And we dedicate this evening to you guys. And I mean, there's really nothing to say about it. It's mind-boggling. Um, in a world, in a culture, and in a day and an age that we live in, where so much death and tragedy and so many horrible things happening to this world, happening especially nowadays, and it chills me to the bone. I mean, these were, you know, it's just a senseless tragedy. I can't phantom what these families are going through. I know there are some people I'm not directly with, but has been affected by this through an indirect type of a way. So, I mean, I pray for all the people. I pray for the people who's lost their lives. I pray for the people who are in the hospital tonight, and I pray for the families who's has to ordeal with this tragedy and now has to, you know, come to grips with this. And I just don't know how we as Americans can really sit by and continue to think about everything that has happened. And this is not the first tragedy that's gone down in Florida. There was another tragedy um, just a night before. So, I mean, there's a lot to talk about, at least when it comes to the country and what should be done next. But that's for another time and another date and another place. Definitely not here tonight. So again, with the heavy heart and to try to lighten the mood and try to hopefully give you guys at least something to smile about for the next, half hour, as long as I can do this. Um, I'm gonna talk about TNA wrestling. I'm gonna give you guys the as much analysis as I can, and I hope you guys can definitely enjoy this program. Um, and thank you for listening to this, and thank you for being here tonight. So, with that said, we're just gonna dive right in, and we are going to go into our first fight of the night, which was for the TNA X Division Championship. Trevor Lee was the champion. He puts the title on the line against Eddie Edwards. Andrew Everett and DJZ, and the winner of the bout and the new TNA X Division champion, Eddie Edwards. He wins the title tonight. I thought this was an okay opener. I know a lot of people weren't really too excited for this fight going in. However, with Eddie Edwards winning the title, this is a nice victory for him. It gives him a little bit of a boost because Davey Richards has been on the shelf for a while now with a knee injury. He should be back very soon, which definitely will be very interesting to see what they do with the Wolves. But as of now, this is actually gonna be an opportunity for Eddie Edwards to really revolutionize himself and hopefully give the X Division a shot in the arm, because of the fact that I really feel like they've really blown a lot of opportunities and a lot of things when it comes to tonight's X Division, because the X Division was one of the most prominent divisions in TNA when it first started out, all like way back in the day of the Asylum, and when they first made the move to Universal Studios, and a lot of people were so excited, so jacked up about the division and the whole 9 yards, because it revolutionized. Because you had guys like AJ Styles, Christopher Daniels, Samoa Joe, you had Chris Sabin, you had Alex Shelley, you had Austin Aries, all these guys who was so great in that division and made it unique, made it awesome. And now I kind of feel like it's lost its way somehow, and it needs to get back. I don't know how it's got to get back, but it needs to get back one way or another. It needs to. We'll wait and see what happens. This is about maybe a 2.5 star fight. At least in my opinion, I thought this was a solid match. It was a little bit of a spot fest, but I think at the end of the day, they did a very good job. It was a very hard fought, and I really enjoyed the interaction of all four men. I think they did a very good job with it, to say the very least. All right, so next up we had was Grado and Mamabia Shira versus the Tribunal. The winners of the bout in this tag team attraction, the Tribunal. Okay. Well, I'm going to say this. It was definitely an eye-opener. It was a lot better than some matches have been recently, and I get it. I know, a lot of people loves Grado. I mean, Grado is mega popular in the UK. But this thing between Grado and Al Snow has been going on for almost a year or so, and I kind of feel like it's at the point of go away. I'm sorry, I do. I think they tried to make it as entertaining as it did. I mean, look, I'm not gonna knock on the positioning of the match, where it went down, how it was playing. I think it could have been a lot better, but I mean, I'm going to give it 1.5 stars is my rating for this match. It got proper time, again, about 7 minutes and 40 seconds. There was really nothing else to say about the match, so we're just going to dive right in to the next fight of the night, which was for the TNA Knockouts Championship. It was, well, initially, and at first, it was supposed to be Gail Kim going one-on-one with Maria Canales. Now, a lot of fans found out that Maria did suffer an injury. She broke her arm, and she was out of the show. Not medically declared, unfortunately was unable to fight. So, what Billy Corbin did is he actually made an announcement and said that, well, I'm going to add Gail Kim to our Knockouts Championship fight, and actually made it a three-way. It was Jade, Sienna, and Gail Kim for the TNA Knockouts Championship. The winner of the bout and new champion, Sienna, wins the title. Now, this fight here was actually better than I expected. I mean, it looked okay for the most part. I don't know if a lot of people are going to be overly excited about it. Um, I think it just looked like okay. The the ending of the fight was very TNA esque. I mean, this was a lot of it. It was basically an overload on the ending. Gail Kim looked like she had the chance to win the title. She hit the eat defeat, and then Ali came out, grabbed the leg of Gail, broke up the pin. So Gail goes after her, then tries to go after Maria. After that, Ali slides the belt into Sienna. Marty Bells shows up with an object. Sienna swings for the belt, misses. Then Marty Bell knocks Jade out with a foreign object. We don't know what that object was. Sienna goes for the cover. 1, 2, 3. We got a new champion. Oof. Okay. Hopefully, man. Maybe 1 star is what I feel about the fight. I'm not gonna say it was the best match ever, but it did happen. It is what it is. It felt typical TNA booking. I'm sorry, it did. This is what you would normally have seen in TNA a long time ago. Even now, I was very disappointed with this fight. I'm only giving it the 1 star just for the effort because they did have over 7 minutes of actual fight time as well. So, next up, on this card we had was Eli Drake versus Bram for the TNA King of the Mountain title. When it was all said and done, the winner of the bout and still TNA King of the Mountain champion Eli Drake. Solid fight, solid match, good match. It was definitely better than even I expected it to be. Um, I was really hoping for a great outcome. It was all right. I mean, was it clunky in some areas? Yes. The fans definitely were not as into the fight as I thought they would have been, but it was good for what it was worth. I liked it. I'm going to give it about another 2.5 stars for my rating. It was solid for what it was, and we're just going to move on to the next fight, which was the grudge match. EC3, Ethan Carden III, goes one-on-one with the Miracle, Mike Bennett. The winner of the bout in 15 minutes was EC3, Ethan Carter III. He hits the 1%, the 1%er with a clean win. All right, guys, I'm going to say it. Fight of the night. This was an amazing match. I mean, this was actually a better match than even I thought. The rivalry has been amazing. The body of work was amazing. Everything that broke out in this match was everything that needed it to be. There was a little Shakespearean drama. There was a lot of action. You had good pacing by both guys. There was an awkward moment of an interference, but it didn't affect one way or another. At the end of the night, this was a solid match, and for me, 3 to 3.25 stars. My fight of the night for TNA Slammiversary. Next up, what we had was the grudge match. Full Metal Mayhem. It was Matt Hardy broken. Well, actually, no, nay, yes. Full Metal Mayhem. Matt Hardy goes one-on-one with Jeff Hardy, the winner of the bout, the charismatic enigma, Jeff Hardy. Another good fight, another good match. Not as good as the I Quit match. Solid, not great, but I will say this: good, solid match, good, good fight, solid to the very end. I'm gonna give this about 2.5 stars. I think this was an okay fight. I liked the body of work of both men. It definitely felt like a good match. This felt like a pay-per-view quality fight, and this is to me the second best fight of the night. I think this was definitely a solid match. I love the body of work. There's really nothing more to say about it. We're just gonna go right into the next fight, which was for the TNA Tag Team Championship. It was Abyss and Stevie and Crazy Steve with the beautiful Rosemary. The Decay puts the titles on the line against Robbie E, Jesse Garders with Raquel in their corner. The Bromans, the winners of the bout, and still TNA World Tag Team Champions. The Decay. They win the match. All right. It was all right. It was an okay fight. I'm not gonna go too much into it. I think it was. I was hoping for something better than what we got. I mean, the in-ring action was solid. The crowd felt engaged enough where I think we could have talked about it being a solid match. And plus, with the main event coming up, it kind of felt good for what it was worth. I mean, it was definitely um it was definitely a good thing, not a great thing, but we'll wait and see what happened. However, I mean, it was okay for what it was worth. I liked it. I liked the match. I think we had a good, it was a good s- uh thing to see, and we'll just go from there. All right. So, next up, we had was our main event for the TNA Heavyweight Championship of the World. It was Bobby Lashley goes one on one. Is Bobby Lashley going one on one against uh, Drew Galloway for the title, the winner of the bout, and new TNA Heavyweight Champion of the World, Bobby Lashley. He won by submission. It wasn't a submission, it was a clean finish. Referee had to stop it because Lashley put in a submission hold, and basically uh Drew Galloway, his lights went out. His body went limp. Referee stoppage. That was, yay. It wasn't a tap out. It wasn't a knockout, but he choked him out to win the belt. And for me, that was fine. Did not have any problem with this. This was a solid main event. This is what you expected the match was gonna be. I was looking for a lot more of the MMA type attitude. We got that. It was a good main event. Pay-per-view quality main event. Even though we got 17 minutes and 5 seconds, like I said, good main event, good match. I liked it. I could say this is probably my second best fight of the night. Overall, another 3-star fight. Overall, I think it was definitely good for what it was worth, and I think you definitely had at least a satisfied ending to the show. Yes, the heel gets the big victory, but it's a clean victory too. So it definitely will open the door that, hey, Lashley is that destroyer. He destroyed. He gives you that kind of Brock Lesnar moment when he destroyed John Cena. There's no doubt about it. No argument with me. I don't have a problem when a bad guy gets a victory like this. This is a solid victory. This was a good victory. This was what I could be saying, you know what? Good for you. Good job, TNA. You actually did something right for a change on that one. My overall review of the show was it's a 50-50 show. I got to give it a 5 out of 10. A lot of the matches weren't that great because I felt like it just didn't live up to the hype. Lashley and Galloway did. EC3 and Mike Bennett did. I thought the Full Metal Mayhem was good, not great. I thought the opening fight was solid enough that I gave it a passable. But a lot of the other matches just left me not really. It kind of left me wanting more, wanting something better. And I think for TNA, I know it's, you know, It's been a rough year for TNA. There's been a lot of rumors about them, that the company might be going out of business. They're not doing so great with Pop TV. Pop TV is about they're threatening to drop them already. So there's a lot going on. And it's a shame because, it, a lot of the matches could have done better. And you can't blame TNA Creative. I mean, I get it. You're trying to give us the best thing. You're trying to make us interested in your brand, in your company, and a lot of the times it doesn't work. The undercard just felt flat. The build, the EC3 Bennett fight definitely had the hype. It just was a little bit mess. It never felt like a big fight atmosphere. Sorry about that. And it's a shame because the production has it's improved. It's gotten better through where it was a year ago. But it obviously still needs work. It still needs to gradually work its way up. Like I said, they got to go back to the basics. Go after the X Division. Make that one of your staples of TNA. The tag team division needs to get better as well. I think because you got that lack of power in those two divisions, you definitely are gonna need some work. The heavyweight division seems fine. Bobby Lashley is gonna be a good champion. He's been there before. He'll be a good champion. I don't know if I want the King of the Mountain belt anymore. I think it's time to retire that belt. Let's get that out of there. I don't know why that belt still exists, but that's just my personal opinions alone. Other than that, it was a 50-50 show, and we'll leave it there, folks. So that's it. That's my TNA Slammiversary review. What do you feel? Do you agree with my opinions? Do you disagree? Please leave a comment at the bottom. Like the video, share it with all your friends. Tomorrow night is a new edition of the Wrestling Forum. We will talk about Monday Night Raw. I will have the Mikey's Mindset, the recap from Lucha Underground and from Ring of Honor. Anthony Floyo will have last week's TNA and what happened on Thursday Night SmackDown. We do this at 11 p.m. Eastern on the Tone 25 on YouTube.com. Until then, it's Mike Fletcher. You know the routine, everybody. Hugs and hand pounds. I am out. And once again, I want to give my thoughts and prayers to all the people that were affected by the nightclub shooting in Orlando, Florida. We are thinking about you, Orlando. We love you guys. God bless. Good night.